Welcome back to Doing Bart Things. This is Bart, and in this hopefully somewhat shorter video, I may do another video later that will be in the tips and tricks as I begin the process of I don't know how to describe it, revamping my machine. I've kind of got a machine over here, and it's sort of grown a bit of a gamery feel to me, and I really want to kind of redo it. It's a Lian Lee Land Cool, excuse me, 2 mesh, and I kind of want something. The urge has gotten to me to where I feel like I want to do something that makes it more a workstation, that kind of matches the room a bit. I don't know. I really really like the Fractal Design North, for example. That kind of style of case. I don't know. It's something I'm gonna basically in another video kind of go into and sort of start the process of here's how here's what I go through when I start thinking about building a computer, redoing my case, whatnot. I go through a lot of thought processes and things, and it's probably completely unnecessary, but I don't know, it's fun. Maybe somebody will find it helpful or whatever, we'll see. But for this video, the actual focus is going to be on video cards. So the RTX has gone on a pretty decent sale on Newegg. You can save yourself right now up to about $100 on a 4080. You can see here the Gigabyte card is coming with a $100 coupon code. Thing about these cards is the price is steadily dropping. So even though this may not be a bad time to jump in, if you've been waiting just for that price to back off a little bit so you get a little bit more bang for your buck, this may not be a bad time to hop in, because prices have been steadily kind of coming down. I mean, this card was probably, not that long ago, it was probably $1,300, $1,400. Now it's only $20 over the MSRP that was listed of $1,200, and it's coming with a $100 coupon code, so it's going to be $1,119. So you can basically get it easily under MSRP. I believe personally MSRP for these cards was never a fair MSRP. I think that it was overpriced straight from the get-go by a considerable margin. I think NVIDIA was being a bit greedy with these cards. I honestly think they should have been $900 cards, maybe. I think people would have been able to stomach that, and they would have sold pretty well. But they have not sold well. They're going to continue to not sell well because they are just very expensive. And this is not even their highest end product. These should have been the 4090. These should not have been 4080s at this price point. My opinion. Just my opinion. But playing the market that's out there today, and I will not begrudge anybody for going out and making a purchase for a machine that they save for and that they want to build. I don't see the value in that. Like, I'm going to celebrate right along with you if you buy a really cool video card and you get to enjoy it. I'm just not that guy who's going to be like, you just spent too much money, I'm going to be like, hey, maybe there's some other options out there that might get you a similar performance and save you a buck or two. But at the end of the day, if that's what you want, go live your best life if you can afford it. Please don't make any purchasing decisions that put you in a financial bind. If you're a struggling college student or something like that, there are better ways to spend your money. That would be something I would say, please, please, please don't be like me when I was a kid and would eat ramen noodles that way I could buy a $500 video card back then. Like don't do that. Just don't. Go eat properly, get your exercise, go see the light of day, come back. These prices are going to go down. New cards are going to come out. The moment that a product is released, time is on your side. Impatience is what works against you. And that's just the way it is in computers and stuff. So at least that's my opinion. So what I think is going to happen is, while these seem like decent deals, I do think the price overall is going to continue to drop slowly. It seems like manufacturers are slowly dropping the prices. What they're doing is they're trying to basically eke every last little penny out of us they can get. They're trying to, like, oh look, this card's now down to its regular MSRP, or maybe $20 over because it's got this crazy cooler on it that doesn't come with a Founders Edition. Like, they're slowly but surely backing off the price. They're trying to find where the level is. It's the maximum amount that they can sell it to the maximum amount of people. They're going to leave it there for a minute, and then when sales drop off, they'll drop it again. Like, I think that's what the overall critical eye for me feels like I'm seeing. And what this does to me is not good, because if they want to sell new video cards, to me what this does is this lights a fire into the used card market, your last gen stuff. It makes people like me go, well, no, I'm not going to buy. I mean, this is still double nearly the MSRP of last gen. The 3080 debuted at like $599, I want to say, something like that, $699. My 3080 specifically, because it was for the Win edition, I bought it like day one. So I was an early adopter, and I paid an early adopter tax, if you will. It was like $800, and it was the 3080 for the Win edition from EVGA. Moment of silence for EVGA leaving the video card market. Very sad days. So I knew it getting into it that's what was going to happen. I paid it. I'm happy with my purchase. It's a great video card. It's still a great video card, and I see no reason to jump up at all. The thing I would consider is these prices are going to continue to drop. I think they're going to continue to drop at least until midsummer, would be my guess. And for the 4080s, so if you are going, well, Bart, like, I need to buy a card today, right? Okay, and you want a 4080 or something in that neighborhood. The 7900 XTX just doesn't do it for you. You want DLSS 3, fine. And these cards do not perform poorly, okay? These are pretty stout cards. My total argument is just, I don't think that they perform up to the price that's being asked. That's it. Their performance is good. So, what's the recommendation? I would not get too caught up on what brand. And the reason is, all of these coolers are massive overkill for this card. Okay? These coolers, so what the manufacturers did is, they basically took the 4090 and the 4080, and they just slapped the 4090 coolers onto the 4080s. Almost all of these cards have the exact same cooler as the 4080, as the 4090 does. Well, the 4090 draws usually 450 watts. Some will draw north of that, and they had to prepare the cooler for that situation. These 4080s do not. I want to say 320, 350 watts maybe. Pretty conventional. They didn't need the fancy schmancy 12 volt new PCIe pinout to get to that voltage. They could have put 2 8 pins and probably gotten there. So these cards are basically very overkilled in the cooling department. And what that means to me is that any of these cards are going to give you their max clocks pretty easily, provided you have a well-ventilated case. If your case is set up right, you've got good pressure, or you've got good airflow through it, you're not going to have any problems, I would suspect, cooling any of these cards. They're going to run very cool. They're going to give you their max clocks, and they're not going to be too fussed about it. So I don't really think there's much in the way of any difference between any of these brands because of that. Not one brand is going to be able to give you this advantage over another. And in benchmarks, we see like this is why like Gamers Nexus, a lot of times they don't do a ton of video card reviews from the different manufacturers. They'll do like the Founders Edition, and then they won't really review too many other cards because the cooling on the Founders Edition, it's going to be basically the same. You may get a little, or they may review like one card, like, they'll review like the MSI card or the Asus card or something. They may throw a custom cooled version of it in there just to see what a custom cooled version does. But by and large, you're not going to notice much difference because the amount of heat that a 4080 puts out is just not going to saturate a 4090 heatsink in a normal, well-ventilated situation. It's just not going to happen. I don't believe. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Somebody will show me the one niche circumstance that happens. But the exception does not prove anything against the rule. And the 4080 just doesn't use as much power as the 4090, and thus it's not going to generate as much heat. And all of these coolers for these custom cooled versions are absolutely massive because they're the 4090 coolers. So don't get too caught up on brands with these. Unless you have a specific brand preference, like if you just love the way the Asus card looks and you want to save up and spend for that, do it. That's fine. I'm just saying you're not going to notice a ginormous performance delta between these two cards by and large. You may also have a preference from who you think does a better quality control perspective. That's totally fine. I would freaking hope that Asus's card is better quality controlled when it's $300 more than this card, or more, yeah. So, wow, me and math, woo. This is a lower end production. I come to you from my kitchen. I'm not here to brag or act like I know more than everybody else. I'm trying to share the knowledge that I've gained over time with folks to hopefully to try my best to help anybody that watches this from making a decision that will give them buyer's remorse later. And I know I'd have a little bit of remorse if someone buys one of these, it just happens to be a slightly better yield because of Silicon Lottery than this card, and for some reason they can beat this card with this card because the cooling is not going to make any difference. Okay, so that's kind of that there. I would say if we look at 7900 XTXs, for example, they're also getting some discounts. This is a really pretty card, man, this Tai Chi card. I really think that's kind of pretty with the sort of the gold copper looking lettering. I was just noticing that, the white. Yeah, interesting. So price-wise, between the 4080 and the 7900 XTX, I really like the 7900 XTX. I don't like the price of it. I don't like the price of any of these cards. I really like it, but if someone came to me and they said, so, like say, $1,050 for the 7900 XTX, or $1,100 for the 4080, 50-60 bucks difference makes no difference. I'm probably going to recommend the 4080. Probably going to recommend the 4080, even though I like the 7900 XTX. I think it definitely can beat in rasterized performance the 4080 in a number of scenarios. But currently, like if you're buying today, this already has DLSS 3. FSR 3 is not out yet. Um, so I think your experience for 50 or 60 bucks difference is probably going to be better with the 4080. I think that, and we're splitting hairs here, but I think 10% is kind of where it's at. If I can get within 10% the 4080 of the 7900 XTX I'm looking at, then I'm probably going to go with the 4080 because of those features. But at the same time, this is a really good 7900 XTX, and FSR3 comes out, I think we're going to look at these cards a lot differently, you know? So I'm hoping that they don't try to up the price on these when that happens, that they keep them similar or maybe even drop them. But I think all the video cards costs are dropping. Like I think, like I said, midsummer, if you're waiting, I would say wait until July, and then kind of check back again, you know, basically, if you're waiting. If you have to buy today, you're set on a 4080 price range, so that $1,000 to $1,200 range. Yeah, take a look at the 4080s right now on Newegg. Is not probably a horrible deal. It looks like maybe this is like a Father's Day sale. Here's what I think may happen. They will do this, and then they will make these price drops permanent. You know, like they'll get rid of the coupon code possibly, but the price itself will start to drop and basically kind of get down around this. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what I think could happen. That's kind of what happened with the 7900 XTXs and some of the other video cards, is that they came on this promo deal, and then suddenly that promo deal became more permanent. So I think that may be what we're looking at here. Anyway, I just want to make you guys aware that, hey, this is happening, and, you know, might be a time to consider, at least. But if you are on the fence, don't be afraid to wait. Don't be afraid to walk away and say, I'll come back and check this later. I don't feel any sort of urgency in buying a card right now at the prices they're listed. Now, if you step back into the lower price range, that 6950 XT, still a good deal. Still really strong for the money. So, just something to consider. But not the complete horrible time to buy a 4080. Anyway, that's it. I just want to make you guys aware that this sale is going on. Give you some tips as far as like purchasing one. This card is probably just fine. If you're really got your head set, you want to get one of the Asus cards, then sure, you know, go see if you can find one on a better deal. But I think that at the end of the day, playing a video game, you're not going to notice any difference. All of these coolers are crazy overkill for that GPU, so they're going to achieve their max clocks, and you don't really need to be that concerned unless you run into a warranty situation or something like that. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Maybe like and subscribe if you want. Tell me how I suck and I'm totally wrong. If you like, that's fine too. But you know, have a fantastic day. It is Friday the 26th. So we're right on the weekend. I will be taking a vacation this week. It's something we planned like a year ago. So even though I'm currently jobless, the money's already been spent like a long time ago. So we're going to go on a little cruise. So I'll be gone next week from Wednesday to Monday, I believe, if memory serves. But I will be back after that making videos again. I may queue up some stuff just to have ready before then. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys. Have a great one.